started an emotional affair with a coworker, and he details how he started feeling that he was losing his wife to this other man, and what he did to nip an affair in the making before it fully destroyed their loving marriage. Now for the original post. I've learned a lot in the last couple of years. My wife and I have been married a long time. Married at 19 years old, still married and in love at 51 years old. Raised 3 great kids to adulthood in that time. Great life together. Sometimes, however, I think someone can meet another person they just click with in an unbelievable way. I think this happened to my wife. We had moved 1,000 miles away from our hometown for my work. She got a job at a hospital in the new town and hated the job. For the first 3 years there, she absolutely hated going to work every day. She would cry regularly. I was there for her in any way she needed. I helped her with her resume because she wanted to find something else. I gave her a shoulder to cry on. I listened and sympathized when she vented. I love her with all my heart and will always be there for her. After about 3 years, they hired a new guy at her work. He did the same kind of work she did but for another department in the hospital. He's a really nice guy. I've met him multiple times. Anyway, he was closer to all the BS they had to put up with at their jobs. He understood better than I could. He spent more time with her than I could. If you're employed full-time, you spend more time with your job and coworkers than you do your family. That's a fact. He was instrumental in helping her turn the job around. He understood exactly what they were going through better than I ever could. Misery loves company, and now my wife had company. They started working as a team and the job got better for both of them. I could see them growing closer professionally, but then it transcended work and they started growing closer as friends outside work, and we all know where that can lead. I started to become really concerned about this, but never wanted to look like an insecure, jealous husband, so I let it go. They texted regularly and hung out together at work all day long. They were the only 2 people in their office. They shared an office, so they chit-chatted all day. I could see their relationship growing every day right in front of my eyes. My wife and I are as close as any 2 human beings can be, but I saw that this relationship at work was starting to impact our me and you against the world closeness. There was a third person entering into my marriage, even though it was currently still at the very early innocent stages. I started to bring up that I was concerned about it, and that I didn't like how she was acting around another man. That would get shut down on me. Don't be silly, we're just friends and coworkers. He has a fiancé, or he's the one person that has made this job bearable, and you want me to ignore him. It was just an awful situation all the way around. I really didn't know what to do. My own field is very specialized and lucrative. As luck would have it, or God stepped in, or karma, or fate, or the universe, whatever is your bag, I get a call from a headhunter. A place in our hometown was looking for a new C-level executive to run an entire division. Huge job, huge salary, in our hometown. I really loved what I was doing in my current job, and now my wife loved her job and her coworker, and we loved the new town. Usually that would lead me to say thanks, but no thanks to the headhunter. This time, however, I saw it as an opportunity to make a positive impact on my marriage. My wife couldn't argue the opportunity. It was huge and almost doubled my salary. We have family and friends back in our hometown. I could tell she was absolutely heartbroken over the potential of losing this new best friend, that I know in my heart they were both developing real feelings for each other. I know in my heart that my wife loved this man. I know that she still loved me, and I don't think she would have ever cheated or left me for this guy, but I know I was slowly losing her to him. She didn't act on anything, but there was something growing between them. I could tell when we all got together that his fiancé hated my wife, even though they had never met before, so that told me that she could sense a threat to her relationship too, and didn't like it one bit. So I applied, interviewed, got offered, and accepted this job. In my heart, I'd say only 10% of it was because of the opportunity, and 90% of it was to get my wife away from her job and that person. We moved. She hated leaving that job and her buddy. I could tell she was sad and depressed over the loss of this other man in her life. I knew in my heart they were having a full-on emotional affair, even if both of them were not aware of it. A lot of times that is how these things start. One or both parties aren't even consciously aware of what's happening, until it's too late and they've ruined some lives. I know this might not be an ideal way to handle such a situation, but it worked. My wife found a new job back home. We're back in our old social circle of friends and family. For a few months they would message on Facebook occasionally. Nothing bad, she'd always show me, but they were maintaining their connection. But that stopped months ago. Out of sight, out of mind. They don't communicate at all anymore. He has since married his fiancée, and my wife and I are very happy back home again. I could literally feel the change, and one day while we were sitting on the couch watching Fixer Upper, her head was on my shoulder. She looked up and said, "I love you so much. I know for a while in the previous city that I wasn't being the best partner, but I was so miserable in my job and part of me blamed you for moving me there. Coworker was really like a wartime buddy, where you share the same horrible experience with, so you start bonding with them. But in retrospect, I think it was wrong and I shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry if it hurt your feelings. I'll never do anything like that again. You're the love of my life. All is well that ends well. I love my wife with all my heart. She loves me. We'll be together until one of us dies of old age. There's a good chance I would have taken this job anyway because it's such a good opportunity. But at that time, that's not why I took it. I took it because I had a threat to my marriage, the thing that is most important to me in life, and I saw an opportunity to remove the threat from the equation. I took that opportunity and won't ever apologize for why I did it. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Wow, I really applaud your maturity and how you handled this. Thank you. It was the scariest time in my life, far scarier than when I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. My marriage is the most important thing in the world to me. The thought of how far this threat could go was keeping me up at night and terrifying me. I can appreciate that not everybody would have an opportunity fall in their lap to correct a situation like this, but I would still warn people who value their marriage, if you see a threat developing, do whatever you have to do to nip it in the bud. I'm glad that it worked out for you. It was big of your wife to admit her part in it. Sadly, I think this happens too easily. It's super easy to be charming and fun with someone that you don't have to handle life's true challenges with. People lose sight of that. Literally just went through a scenario like this, but didn't get that convenient opportunity you did. We weren't legally married, but mentally we were. 8 years together and could have gone 80 without making it legal. It didn't matter to us. Just like you, I saw it coming, talked to her about it, and she always downplayed it, kept my cool, and tried to be mature about it. She left me for him 3 weeks ago. I'm so happy that it worked out for you and your wife. Timing is everything. This needs to be seen more. If you feel threatened and jealousy was never an issue with you before, there's usually a reason for it. Don't let them downplay it, because it can only end badly. I agree in not letting them downplay it. If it's a concern, then they could at least respect why you feel that way and acknowledge it. I get the part of not wanting to come across as jealous, but we all get jealous on some level. It's only natural. In the end, people are going to do what people want to do. I lean on the side that says, if a person truly cares about you and loves you the way they say they do, then they would not go and explore romantic emotions with someone else while still being with you. If that is what they want, then that's within their right. The problem arises when they do it while the other person believes they are still in a committed relationship. This is an awful display of character in my opinion. It's okay to have friends and other support systems outside of your own marriage. I believe it's healthy. It's good to have other perspectives and other support circles. But it seems like OP's wife was exploring emotional and possible romantic replacement of the OP while telling him it's nothing to worry about. What's to say she won't resort to this again? I don't think OP should have let it slide as easily. Had he not moved away, she most likely would have continued it. This is a red flag in my opinion. Like I said, people are going to do what they want to do. Her actions are concerning for their marriage and it allows for untrust in the relationship. And now for the update. Far too many posts to respond to. My wife and I are reading through this thread together. We do everything together. We're a team. She wanted me to add for anyone that might be in her shoes, that sometimes you really don't see things like this coming. But if you're not vigilant, you may end up ruining the best part of your life. She's as happy as I am how everything turned out. We're not really religious people, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that this situation didn't make me question if there isn't someone out there watching out for us, and to be aware when God, the universe, whatever, presents a solution to a problem. Don't ignore it. I do know that I was extremely lucky that this opportunity came along. I really didn't know what to do. I felt so helpless. That doesn't happen for a lot of people and my heart breaks for them. I'll never stop being thankful of how lucky I was. There were a lot of assumptions made in this thread about me, about my wife, and about our whole lives together. Some good, some bad, some downright nasty. I understand that you're only getting a tiny slice of our lives. I assure you we're happily married 32 years now, and will be married till death do us part, hopefully even beyond that. Would either of us do whatever is necessary to protect our marriage from any and all negative influences in this world? You betcha. My wife tells this story more than I do. She has told it to our adult children as a cautionary tale. She has said if the situation was reversed, she'd do the exact same thing. I wouldn't be angry if she did. I've had several close female friends over the decades we've been married. When my wife picks up a vibe that one of these women may have desired more than friendship, she voiced her concerns. A couple times that was met with, "Don't be silly, we're just friends." In retrospect, my wife was not being silly. Those friendships could have been a threat to the marriage, but we'll never know because we nipped them in the bud and put our marriage first. All I can wish anyone here is to find the same kind of happiness my wife and I share. It's wonderful and I hope if you don't already have it, that you find it. Peace. Now for the last story. Update: I, 24 male, am worried that my sister, 26 female, has feelings for my girlfriend, 24 female. Original post: my girlfriend and I have been together for 2.5 years, and we have a really great relationship. My sister and I have always been close, so I was really happy when she and girlfriend met and hit it off right away. They get along insanely well and it's awesome, or was awesome. It might be important to point out that they are both bi. Everything was normal up until about 3 months ago. They started hanging out together more often than usual, taking day trips and having sleepovers, and going for dinner, etc. I didn't care about it initially. I thought it was cool that the two most important women in my life were such good friends. Then my sister Amy started making comments saying that if we ever broke up, she's first in line to date my girlfriend Emily. She calls Emily her wifey and follows her around like a lost puppy. Amy says that Emily is our girlfriend, and I swear she gets jealous when I interact with her. Then last week, I got home from work, and as I walked through the door, I could hear them chatting in the living room. This isn't out of the ordinary. It was what I heard that really bothered me. My sister said, "Holy heck, I have such a crush on you," in the most lustful voice I've ever heard. I really hated typing that. Emily laughed and their conversation moved on, but it really didn't sit well with me, so later on I asked Emily what they were talking about. I think context is important. She told me that they went shopping earlier in the day and were doing a little fashion show for each other. She said that those kinds of comments are normal between girlfriends, and it's nothing to worry about. It made sense to me and I trust Emily. I decided to talk to Amy. I asked how their shopping spree went and so on, and then gently asked her what the crush comment was about. She got very defensive and accused me of being jealous of her relationship with Emily, then told me to grow the heck up. I'm not worried about Emily doing anything behind my back to betray me, and I never have. There's just something about the way my sister is acting that irks me, and I don't know how to approach this without blowing up any of our relationships. Now for the advice before reading the update. Okay, well, be prepared because no matter what, you are gonna hurt some feelings. There is no gentle way. She calls Emily her wifey and follows her around like a lost puppy. Amy says that Emily is our girlfriend, and I swear she gets jealous when I interact with her. Talk to your girlfriend about it, and say your sister is jealous. Say your sister sees her as our girlfriend and that you are not okay with that. Talk about less hanging out with your sister, and do not back down, and see what happens. Basically, tell her what you wrote in this post. To your sister, say that you don't like it and be stern. Tell her to only come over if you are around. Wish you the best. This situation is crazy. If either one of them does not accept your boundaries, it is time to break off with one of them. I agree. Doesn't matter that it's your sister, your girlfriend is flirting with her and not maintaining platonic boundaries. Maybe sis feels like a safe flirt, but that doesn't matter. And no, girls don't say that to each other unless they are interested. Tell your girlfriend how uncomfortable you are, and if she is unwilling to change her behavior with your own sister, then she doesn't care about your feelings enough to make it work anyway. Why am I having flashbacks to that one post on AITA about a girl being absolutely mad her boyfriend and her twin brother were actually together all the time, and used her as a shield by the boyfriend dating her for years and not telling her? I have a bad feeling OP. I remember that story. That poor girl dated the guy for like 7 or 9 years before finding out the truth. Imagine that. Broke my heart to read that. And they lived together and had talked about marriage and kids more than once. It was just plain cruel. There's a special place in hell for cruel guys like her brother and cheater boyfriend. And now for the update. There have been some developments. When I got home from work yesterday evening, I found the two of them on the couch in the living room watching a movie. I decided that I should just get it over with, so I sat down in the seat across from them and said that the three of us needed to have a talk. I basically just asked them if there was something going on between them, and mentioned how much extra time they've been spending together, and acting almost like they're dating. My sister immediately started sobbing, and Emily just looked really sad. Amy couldn't speak through her tears, so Emily filled me in. Turns out Amy has been going through a really bad breakup and not taking it well. Amy's boyfriend cheated on her with multiple women and gave her an STD. I guess it ended in a big blowout and he trashed her place and threw her around. 3 months ago, Emily noticed that something was wrong and asked her what was up while they were out for lunch. Amy couldn't hold back and spilled all that happened to Emily, and then begged her not to tell me anything until she decided what she wanted to do. Emily started staying over at her place for a few reasons, helping her fix up her home, support, etc. Then Amy found out that she's pregnant with this asshole's baby and her mental health plummeted. Their extra hangouts were mostly to do with preparing for this new baby, pregnancy, including the fashion show which was maternity wear, for both of them. What I was perceiving as jealousy from Amy was actually a longing or envy of the solid relationship that Emily and I have, not an actual crush on Emily. The crush comment and wifey nickname were literally just girly comments in their words. Amy was reactive to my questioning because she was so deeply betrayed by this guy, and being accused of doing that was very hurtful. I didn't even know that Amy was dating anybody. Seems that the guy has left the province and Amy doesn't want to pursue anything legally. She just wants to move on and be happy. They are 6 weeks apart, and were planning on telling me about the matching pregnancies this coming weekend. So in short, Amy and Emily are best friends. I'm going to be an uncle and then a father, and I get Brother of the Year award for not noticing that anything was going on with her. You have no reason to blame yourself. She didn't tell you she had a boyfriend, so how could you know she was being mistreated? Especially since she was spending so much time with Emily. You didn't notice because there was no way you could have known it was happening, and you handled everything exactly as you should have. You stayed calm, talked with them and listened. You didn't blow up at them. You didn't throw accusations. You listened and talked. Good job, and congrats on becoming a dad and an uncle. Also, you might want to hire a PI to hunt down the boyfriend. Even if she doesn't want to press charges, he should definitely be forced to pay child support. I agree that he handled how he talked to them correctly, but he should feel bad for not noticing his sister's apparent mistreatment, especially if they are as close as he said, and especially when his girlfriend noticed before him. And tracking down the guy to pay child support is just another way to bring this awful person back into this poor woman's life, when it seems like she would be better off with the support system she has now, and no guy threatening to take her kid away if she doesn't go back to him.